Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock.
My name is Danny.
And we are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Home Dad Chat. I know it's been a bit of a break with just things going on in life, and we missed talking to everybody last week. And I think Danny and I have got a fix for that for coming up through the the next following times where we run into a situation where one of us can't make it. So hopefully that means that we won't have any more gaps in weeks. But yeah, Danny, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. I've had a fantastic June, and I can't wait for July. It's going to be awesome.
That's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it's
how about you?
June's been good. It's been busy. I think that just with Father's Eve and this past week, the whiskey festival that I've been talking about going to, and just a bunch of things like that. It's been busy, but before we get into kind of all of that, I kind of wanted to talk about something serious and something that I feel like hits really close to home with us as dads, and especially with one of our own good buddies who was just at Home Dad Con back in October with us in Cincinnati. I saw the news about James Lopez being in the hospital, and it really, like, I was blown away, because there's been no communication and no one could figure out what was going on. And there was a whole bunch of us talking in the dad bloggers Facebook group about where is he, how's he doing, all these different things. And nobody was getting any straight information. And then a GoFundMe page showed up for him. It shocked me to read what was going on. Is that how you heard about James, was the GoFundMe page?
No, I heard it. Well, I heard about it originally in April when he had his surgery, brain surgery.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was the first time. And I'll say for me, I spoke with him maybe 5 minutes at Cincinnati. I mean, because he was so busy, and I was kind of busy too, I guess. So definitely, shook his hand, and he seemed like a great guy, and he just had this good energy about him, and which tracks with everything anybody's said about him since.
Yeah.
He's one of the founders for, is it New York City Dads, which is
he's
a big one.
He's a co-organizer for the NYC Dads group. He's the founder of Fatherhood is Lit, which is a huge platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah,
great hashtag too, by the way.
Very good hashtag. Yeah.
Fatherhood is Lit.
So, but I met him years ago at Dad 2.0, actually. And he and I hit it off really well. And it was just amazing to just sit and hear him talk about fatherhood and just what he was doing for it. And, he's got just an amazing background. I love when he shares about his family and the things that, he grew up around and how he is now as a dad. So he's doing a lot to change fatherhood in the eyes of his kids. So,
And then April, he had a successful surgery.
He did,
a non-cancerous mass in his brain. Had that removed. Everything was great. Went well. And the amazing thing is, one of the things I heard about him is, he always responds to you in some way. If you talk to him or you send him a message, he will get back to you.
Right.
And on his original post, having come just out of surgery, and that's the first time I saw anything about it, and picture of him in the hospital gown and all that, and not looking great because he just had brain surgery,
right?
Which is something that my mind wouldn't really even grab onto. I'm like, I'm serious, actual brain surgery? Are you kidding?
It kind of came out of nowhere too.
Right. Yeah, never heard of. I mean, of course, I don't know him, so but just that was the thing. But then he had I mean, he had 100 replies easily. I mean, he just had so many people saying, I hope you feel better and all that. And he replied to almost every single one, and not like just an emoji or whatever, but a direct, like I said, man, I hope you feel better or whatever. And he said, thanks. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. He had words for everybody.
Like everybody. Right. And that's just such a genuine, because how much time that takes, how much of a commitment that is, simply to go to each person that wished you well on a Facebook post to say thank you. I mean, that's a huge commitment. And yet he's just like, yeah, and everybody was like, yeah, that's what he does. He's just, that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
But then we heard, it was the middle of this month. When I think the 15th, we heard about
what was like later in the month, actually, from when you read the article, it talks about that while he was recovering later in that month, he fell and suffered a traumatic brain injury. And so like, he's been in a coma, like, since that. So we're talking maybe since May, like, because it was April when he had the surgery. So here we are, like, just almost at the end of June. So he's been in that situation for the past 2 months. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm having a hard time with this, man, like, because like, it's just, one, he's my age, he's 42, two, he's somebody that I've looked up to just from a fatherhood influence standpoint of things. And he is he is a down to earth guy. And you just hate to see, good people go through bad things.
Yeah. And it's, especially because, he's a dad, and he has, I think he's got 3 kids. And honestly,
he's got 2, a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old.
All right. Yeah. And that's
he does have 3. My bad. They're from ages 5
to 15. The middle child, we always get forgotten. I get but to be serious. Yeah. I mean, so he is a father, he has children, he has a wife, he has people that depend on him, that love him. Yeah. And that, to me, to think about how that hits, that you're suddenly gone, now,
and he's a stay-at-home dad too. Like that's the other part,
Now, we're getting all of our information mainly from City Dads Group's webpage, citydadgroups.com. If anybody wants to take a look at it, they can find the article and the GoFundMe. I really recommend that we do, if anybody that can, whatever you have. We all give stuff constantly, and heck, stay-at-home dad or parenting in general is just a life of sacrifice. But he does need help, and I know it's something that we've reached out to him or his GoFundMe personally. And I really hope that other people are able to as well, because he's done so much good, and it's going to take him a while to get back on his feet.
It is definitely. I mean, and it's a big goal too. I think most people, like, when they open up the GoFundMe, are going to probably be like, wow, that's a big goal. Like, they're trying to raise like $350,000 for him, but the cost per day for him to be in the facility that he's at and actually going through some rehab with some stuff is super expensive. And so they were saying that he could be there from anywhere from 6 months to a year before he's able to go home. So so I mean, in the past week since this was created, they've raised just over $31,000. So they're definitely on their way, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, anybody who can give anything to help out, like, please do, because every little bit's gonna definitely help get him to, and his family, into just a better place with things. So I
like it that his wife pointed out something, 2 things that are very important, really. One, that, this is cost with insurance. They have insurance, and this is still the stuff. And it's so traumatic, so demanding. But then she said, and I'm going to quote, "This is not the reason or method that James would have ever chosen to raise funds.
No, and that he would not be happy. He actually, I think she said, didn't she say, like, he would not be happy to know this was going on?
This was going on. Yeah. Right. And that's the kind of guy he is, And again, I only met him for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. We're going to have I was actually looking for, I didn't know who he was, I'll admit it. And I thought, wow, that guy would be great for, like, maybe a board position or something. We see how involved he is. And I'm like, oh, never mind. He's a thing.
He's super involved already.
He's a thing. He's got it. Not only he has a thing too. So he's definitely not gonna step down from all that to help the board out. But yeah, definitely something I hope everybody gets, understands how important it is. And maybe if you can go help him, but really we just wanted to boost the signal and tell everybody out there about him, if they met him or knew him, what's going on with him, and then definitely to keep his family in your thoughts. So
definitely. So we'll put up in the show notes where you can go to find his story and also to find the GoFundMe page. And hopefully that helps bring some more funds into what they're trying to do. And we'll be back in a bit with some other things to talk about. So thanks for listening to this part of the show, and we'll be right back. Become a member of the National At-Home Dad Network, an organization focused on providing advocacy, community, education, and support, connecting with households where dad is the primary caregiver of the children. We do this through our webinar and podcast series, mental health support groups, regular online social events, as well as our annual convention. The National At-Home Dad Network is a 100% volunteer organization. Without the generous support of its members and the community around it, we would not be able to continue the work that we do. Becoming a member gives you access to past convention speaker presentations, the ability to vote for board members annually, and ensures that the organization's fees and bills are in positive standing. Oh yeah, it should not go unmentioned that there is some cool swag headed your way if you decide to become a member. For only $35 a year, your membership provides you with the exclusive content only we can generate, and you'll be supporting an organization that benefits families all around the country and world. By advocating for them, offering them community, providing education and guidance, and supporting them to grow in their parenthood journey. And one last thing, if you contribute $500 or more, you will become a lifetime member. Not only will you receive everything already mentioned, but also a certificate recognizing your status and an exclusive National At-Home Dad Network challenge coin with our trademark logo, Dads Don't Babysit. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member today. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Hope you enjoyed that commercial, and I hope that we were able to spur you on a little bit to help out with James's recovery and everything else. Tonight, we're going to talk about things that we spoke about previous episodes with what I was doing with the whiskey festival, why June has been so much fun for Danny, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. But Danny's just what are you drinking, man? What is that? Is that just a big
Sprite
chunk?
Zero?
Okay.
And lemon ice.
It looks delicious.
Limited
so I wasn't sure
what it is, was. And I said this previously. I think so. I don't want to harp on it too, but it is the most refreshing drink because I didn't like Sprite really. I wouldn't. It's a little sweet.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. I needed a non-sugar drink. I'm like, okay, well, Sprite Zero has zero. Let's go. I didn't want Coke Zero.
I just wasn't sure if it was like a
reason.
big. I wasn't sure if it was just a big mug of Smirnoff Ice or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah, clear beer. It's see a little head on it there. Yeah. It's vodka. No, it has not been that kind of day.
Okay, good. Yeah,
but I am definitely thirsty. Always.
No, that's cool.
But it is really good, and I'm absolutely going to be serving it for my July 4th celebration.
There you go.
This in another couple of weeks. Next week, 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's next week. It's this Monday. It's coming Monday. So when we actually release this episode, so it'll be today, depending on who.
My brother's coming up.
From where?
Georgia.
Ooh, that's cool.
Going to bring all of his kids. He's got one kid that's 30 something.
Yeah.
Sorry if he ever hears this, CJ. I'm sorry, man. That's what I do. But I mean, I can't imagine. I'm like, what? How are you 30? But yeah. And then his other two children, they're like 17 and 14, I think. So it'll be fun.
Sounds like it. That's awesome, man. Very cool.
Yeah, he's driving all the way up. I think he's driving, maybe flying, but he's coming all the way up either way just to hang out for a couple days or a week. And, July 4th or whatever isn't really the main focus. It's just say it's a good time. We'll have the time off and come say hi. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
That's great, man.
That's a huge trip.
Yeah. Hey,
So
man,
anyway,
you're worth coming and seeing. So
yeah,
it's all good. At least he's probably thinking maybe it'll be a little bit cooler up there. I don't know.
he's probably thinking maybe I can leave my kids here. They feel good now. Yeah, he won't notice. You're like, wait, why are you kids eating so much food this week?
Right? No kidding.
It's like there's more of you.
Well, that's cool. That's exciting always to have family coming around. I
Mm-hmm.
think I don't have any family coming here, but my sister and her husband are moving from Arizona to Indiana.
Indiana.
So,
okay.
yeah, which is where my family's from. And so I'll probably be going up there to help unpack and all that stuff with them. So bring the kid. It'll be me and the kids, and Corey will stay here at the house with the dog. And we'll go up there for a couple of days and help them unpack. So they got a big enough house now. They bought a big house, man, for just the two of them. So plenty of room for us to crash, which will be nice. So, but yeah, man. So that's going on. June though. So you just recently went to Pride in, was it Milwaukee, or did you go to the Twin Cities one?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to Milwaukee the first week, and then I went to the Twin Cities one the 25th, 26th this past weekend.
This is past weekend.
Yep. And Minneapolis is amazing. It was just amazing. I love more than anything else. I love. I love everybody. It just fills me up. If I go to a wedding, I'm going to bawl. It's going to just tears of joy. And like in Milwaukee, there was a young couple that were walking in the parade, and they stopped, and it was about a block away from us, so we couldn't see it, but they got engaged.
Oh, wow.
You know, two ladies, and one lady got down on her knee and gave her a ring, gave the other lady a ring, and it was like, wow. I'm like, oh my God. And my dad is like, what? I mean, my kid is like, Dad, would you stop? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to stop. This is what I do. So the Milwaukee parade was much bigger. I mean, the Minneapolis parade was much bigger than the Milwaukee parade.
Right.
But Minneapolis has been going for 50 years.
Oh, wow.
This is their 50th. And it used to be just around a little park that's there. I think it's Loring Park was the name of it. They would just go around the park, and that was the parade. And now, I mean, they've got blocks and blocks and blocks of streets, and the blocks and blocks and blocks beyond that where they have it all staged and everything.
Wow.
It was incredible. It was
cool.
just amazing. Yeah. And then, I mean, the people around me were amazing. It was just, everybody there is just very accepting and just happy to be there with other people that aren't going to make fun of them or, you know, insult them or think they're weird or anything like that. It's just people that accept you. And I love that. And honestly, every time I go to the Pride Parade, I cry because this is the world that my son gets to have.
Yeah.
You know, not 100%, obviously, you know, but it's got this place with these people, and he can find them anywhere in the world really that will accept him as he is. And that's going to be more and more prevalent as we go along. And he gets to have a world where he can be accepted for who he is.
Yeah.
And that really that hits me every time, because what do we want for our kids other than they be happy and they be loved, you know?
Right. Definitely.
So yeah,
definitely.
Minneapolis was awesome.
So I'm curious, while you were there, because this would have been the time right after everything went down with the Supreme Court and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any kind of like nervous buzz in the air with the stuff that was being talked about by crazy politicians around the country?
Not at Pride.
That's good.
Pride is definitely, in many ways, it's a party too. I mean, in many ways, it's just a time to get together and sing and dance and clap and laugh and have a good time. And I am sure there are and were conversations like that going on.
Yeah.
But nothing involving the parade that I saw.
Okay, good. I'm glad everybody had a good time then.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I've had a couple of really serious, solid, amazing conversations over the weekend. Just things that you really don't want to talk about, but that you need to talk about. Sure. And was able to get with, for one, people in Marnie's family who are all so very welcoming and so amazing when it comes to in-laws, and willing to accept again who you are and what's going on, and willing to also be civil about a conversation where you may disagree.
Yeah.
You know, which is rare. But then I had a really good conversation with Kyle Thompson, who's, I would say, my boy. I'll say that he's my boy. and we got a ride in his rat rod.
I saw that. I saw those pictures, man. That's awesome.
And that was my favorite. That's the most fun, the most joyous moment I have had all year. I mean, it was just like an old vehicle. It's just fuel, fire, and metal.
Yeah.
It's a dual shifter. I think
wow.
a 3-speed, but yeah. And so he's got the racing axle, and it's set up to go, but it's basically geared down so that it's not a hot rod that he's not going to race with it. He's not going to drag with it or anything, but it's got a big old, I think it's a 350 engine with just a 2-barrel carb, but it's only like 1,500 pounds, the car.
Wow.
So that motor it just shoves you down the road. I mean, you can feel it pushing you back into your seat.
Dang.
It was amazing.
That's cool, amazing, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw the pictures and I was jealous because when I went to Minneapolis for Home Dad Con, he had mentioned at one point, oh, maybe I'll get to bring it in, and it didn't happen. And I was like, dang it, that's a bummer. I wanted to see it.
Yeah. That's how Kyle and I actually kind of met that way because of a podcast where he was talking about his rat rod and being an at-home dad, and I wouldn't say it's a Frankenstein car, but if anybody doesn't know what a rat rod is, basically you just get a bunch of pieces together and put it together and build a car.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool, like it basic, cause it's like a truck base almost.
Yeah. His looks like a truck.
It's like a truck. So yeah, it's a cool vehicle for sure. So, well, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you get to do that. Cause yes, like I said, I saw those pictures and that looked like you were having a lot of fun. So
yeah. And before that, Father's Day.
Yeah, I know you.
How was your Father's Day?
Father's Day was good. Pretty laid back. Honestly, like I was recovering from Father's Eve, and not like in a way where like I drank a bunch. It was more along the lines of like I had exhausted myself the whole week getting ready for it. I'd done I promoted all week. I did a TV spot on the local news, which was awesome. And
links in the show notes.
I'll put them in there. Yeah, I'll put them in there.
I want everybody to see you representing us.
Yep, it was good. The guy who interviewed me was a new anchor, returning anchor, actually, back to the Cincinnati area. And so it was awesome to connect with him. And he's a dad. So it was really neat to make that connection. And it was a great time. Had about 13 guys show up. We raised over $400 for the local diaper bank with the raffle of the 3 bottles of spirits from Carrican. And that was awesome. So yeah, I think we raised $440 actually was what we raised. So
very cool.
Yeah, it was a great time. The facility that we used there at the firehouse, it's very bare bone right now because they've got a lot of remodeling to do, but the guys loved it. They had so much fun. I brought my old like 40-inch flat screen TV in so that because one of the guys was like, can we watch the FC Cincinnati game? And I was like, yeah, definitely. Like, I'll bring that. Yeah. So brought all this stuff and set that up. So we had that going. Had a group of guys who were hanging out, and one of the guys had called me like the night before and was like, can I bring poker chips? Can we play poker? And I was like, hell yeah, you can play poker. Like, sure, why not? And I knew that was something that he and this other guy like to do. So they had like 8 guys sitting around playing poker. Oh, and wow. Then there were like 5 or 6 guys sitting around watching the soccer game. And, we had homemade beer. We had homebrew beer, homebrew cider. I had a lady here in the neighborhood make cookies, but she made them in like the badge form of like the Father's Eve logo. So those were pretty cool.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
And then everybody just brought meat and we threw stuff on the grill. And one of the guys that came, like I sent him an invite, like was it Saturday morning? I think it was either Friday or Saturday morning. I was like, hey, are you thinking about coming to this? And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot the RSVP. He showed up with a like 8-inch square dish that was full of deer back straps that he had medallioned off and marinated and tenderized like all day on Saturday, and then brought them. And he was like, these need 3 minutes on each side, nothing more, nothing less. And I'm like, okay, dude.
Yes, sir.
And he's like, you will be able to pull them apart with your fingers. You won't even need a knife. And he was not wrong. I mean, they were awesome. So,
it sounds great.
Yeah. So it was a good time. We had a lot of people walk
Mhm.
by looking at us like, who are you people? And a few people
Yeah.
stopped by and explained to them. But yeah, so that was good. And then Father's Day literally did nothing. Like,
Mhm.
I told my wife, I was like, I just want to lay around and sleep. I don't want to do jack. And she was
Yeah.
like, okay, no problem. So we didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So that was Father's Day. What about you, man? Because you woke up
Sweet.
at Eric Shorberg's house on Father's Day.
Yeah. Yeah. I went out to Minneapolis again. Went out to see Eric, and we took his kids, his three kids, or actually took all four of his kids. I'm sorry. His oldest is 17, and we were talking about, high school and college, and she's going for a fine arts degree and all this. And it was just very cool. She's a very cool kid, saying this as an old man, you understand?
Well, I mean, her dad's very cool, so it only makes sense.
That's it. That's it. And and met his twins, which was amazing. And I have to say that my probably the highlight for me personally. Now, we did a lot of cool stuff. There's a park, and it can't be 5 minutes from his house.
Yeah.
He said, I want to take you up here. There's a creek that we go and we throw rocks in down at the lower end, and then we go walking up to where the falls are, and it's nice and wide. And I'm like, cool. And you could take obviously your little kids, because his youngest, I think, is about 3. And we go up, and I'm going to try not to name their names, because I don't want, Eric didn't tell me I could name their names, so I'm going to not use their names. So if I do, edit that out. But,
thing one and thing two.
Thing one and thing two, and baby thing, I guess. The redheaded fireball. She's
boss baby, and thing one and thing two.
Man, and she is too. She redheaded. She we would do something, and I'm like, hey, him or I both would be like, well, you want to come over here? And she just look at you and go, no. And it was just like, no, this is the end of the argument right here. It was amazing. She's going to be so much fun for him. She's going to be so much fun. But we went walking up the creek, up to the waterfall, and the fall drop is about 8 or 9 feet. So we literally rock climbed up that with the kids, and then went up another, I would say, 1/8 of a mile even, to another fall, which was even higher. And we stopped there and just took a lot of pictures. And I got almost 0 great pictures, but that happens sometimes. A lot of out of focus shots, a lot of light level problems. I'm learning, but it was great, and we're walking back, and my pivotal moment as a dad, this really touched me as I'm walking back, and I'm not going to say their names, thing one on one hand, thing two on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're holding my hand to help me. Cause I told them, I'm going to get lost. I want you to hold my hands, because I use that trick on my kids. Well, daddy might get lost in the parking lot. Why don't you hold his hand? Because otherwise you're like restricting them or holding them back. And this way they're helping you, and these kids, his kids were so helpful, so sweet. And we're walking back, and I said something about something on the ground or whatever. And they both started talking, and they both told me completely different stories about something that was going on. And I'm just sitting here going and going and going. And then they got done, and I looked at one and I said, I'd have thrown that stick away too. And I looked at the other one and goes, and that leaf does look like a snail. You're right. And we just kept walking. And then I had this moment of, dude, you can't carry on a conversation with one adult for very long. You just held on 2 conversations with 2. Oh, I think they're 7-year-olds. I can't remember, but 2 young kids, and boom, like a pro. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I leveled up today. That's cool.
That's awesome.
But I can't imagine having twins, Eric. And I know a lot of you other guys out there, kudos to you for having twins and keeping your sanity, because that was a day, man. That was a lot.
Yeah. So. Twins are interesting. I know talking to Spike a lot of times.
Yeah, I miss Spike.
He's got stories, man, about his kids. So I can only imagine having twins. That would well, actually, I can't imagine it, because my neighbor across the street has twin girls, and I watch them all the time. It's quite the juggle.
It is. It's amazing.
And they just have the 2. So
you think about like diaper changes and bottles, everything is doubled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, strollers got to have 2. It's just crazy. That's a demanding job there. But I did go spend the day with him, and then Kyle actually came over and picked me up and took me over to the Father's Eve thing, because Eric had to take his oldest daughter home. Okay. And so Kyle and I rode over there, and we went to this nice little bar in kind of like a warehouse area, and it's got a big wooden deck on the outside. And I had Father's Eve with Eric and Kyle and John Francis, the man himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So yeah, no, it was really cool, because there's so many people there that knew him, like his friends and stuff. I had no idea, of course, who we were. Right. But we played, they call it cornhole or bags, depending on where you're from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cornhole.
The guys, like, you want to play some bags? I'm like, I don't know what that is, but sure. Yeah, let's go do it. But yeah, I had some beer and some excellent pizza, which was just so crazy because it's frozen pizza.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got to get the name from Kyle because he'll remember. But they were like, yeah, this is frozen pizza. And we just cook it up real quick. And I'm like, this is incredible. You know, this is really the best frozen pizza I've ever had.
It's all about the dough, honestly.
I'll believe you, man, because it was good.
So,
but of course we were hungry too, so that's part of it.
That helped too, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I was gonna say, the other thing that I got was for Father's Day, I bought myself a t-shirt. I don't know if I told you this or not.
No.
So one of the guys in the Aramachi Harley group on Facebook, he took the Harley Davidson decal from off of the side of his gas tank and made it into a t-shirt. So the logo basically, and it's got the old school AMF Harley Davidson is what it says on it. And so I bought one of those for myself. And my wife was funny. She like saw it on the thing. She's like, what's this like $33 charge on our on our card? Like, what's this? I was like, I bought me a shirt, dang it. Like, she was like, okay, no problem. I was just curious. And then she went on. So I like beard oil. I love it. And so I had bought some a while back from a place called it's called Rugged Roots. And they have some amazing stuff like tobacco and vanilla, and they have like a spiced tobacco, and there's like they got all these amazing things like lumberjack. And so
that's cool.
Yeah. And so I had bought some a while back and I ran low. And so for Father's Day, she bought me a ton, like just a big old lot of them. So I have like plenty of the tobacco, the vanilla tobacco. I've got some of the spiced tobacco, and then I got some samplers of a few others, because like you got like, if you bought so much, like you got like a sampler pack of 3. So I'm stocked up on Rugged Roots beard oil for quite a while. But I love their stuff, man. It's so good. And she loves it, and that's the biggest key. Like, she really likes it.
Bingo. That is the biggest key. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I definitely got that. I mean, I've went to church before and I've had guys who were like, what is that, man? It smells delicious. What in the world are you wearing? Yeah. And I'm like, it's Rugged Roots oil, beard oil, man. They're just like,
just my beard oil. You got beard oil? You should get some beard oil.
Nothing more awkward than being in church and having like some dude like smelling your beard.
Can I just get a little whiff of that?
Yeah. No. Right. So
I'll write it down for you.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's cool. So you got the shirt and you got the beard oil.
Yeah, I got the shirt and I got beard oil. So pretty good Father's Day. I'll take that. Like, that to me, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, so that was Father's Day. And then following up through Father's Day to like this past weekend, I've been.
I want to talk about Father's Day for a little more.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Show you something.
Yeah.
So you may not like this, but if I can put this in front of my face.
Can I see it? Oh no. Freaking background. Just describe what you got there. Is that some sort of spaceship?
This is the Buzz Lightyear ship from the new movie.
Oh, okay.
I'm stupid, but I wish I could show it, because you can get it where it's going to go. But it will. You pull the little lever and Buzz Lightyear pops out of it with his wings out and everything. He's ready to fly out. You just need
to turn your background off for a second so that we can see it.
You know, I don't have to do that fast, man.
You can do it. I'll edit it out.
Just all the time. It only took him a second.
Oh, wait. So do the flip thing. Put it back down.
Oh, man, it takes forever to put it back in. Come on.
That doesn't sound right.
Human drink. Come here, Buzz. Come back in there.
You go here and you go there and you push it.
It is down. Really complicated to get it back in.
Is it really? And it's a kid's toy? Oh, my goodness. Because
you got to fold his wings right and you got to put him back in right where he goes. And,
jeez.
You know.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. All right. So me.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
He's in.
All right. Get him in camera focused. All right.
That was supposed to happen, but then he goes.
Oh, nice. Hey, at least he doesn't have a goose moment. The capsule goes away.
He moves the canopy. Oh, don't be sad, man. But I got this, and I got to tell you, I went to the store like the day before to pick up. We weren't picking up. We were looking for things to use, or to like party favors and stuff to use for my 7-year-old's birthday in August.
Okay.
And I'm like, you got 2 months. Can we wait on that? Okay. Right. We can go to the store. I mean, we didn't need something to do during the summer days. And I saw this and I went, oh, I love Buzz Lightyear and I love spaceships. And my 15-year-old told my wife, "Hey, Mom, this is what Dad wants. You should get this for him." And right? And I'm like, my 15-year-old remembered that?
Way to go, 15-year-old.
And then this. Just a painting by a local artist. It's just
that's gorgeous. I love
it. Really is. It's like
is it
Japanese mountain, like with the Japanese cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms in the black
moon,
sun,
I guess. Black old sun. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and I'm like, I saw it and I'm like, wow, that's really pretty. And Marnie literally goes, "Yep, I picked that out myself." I'm like, "What? You're growing as a human being, woman. This is awesome.
Look at that. Look at that.
Right? She's amazing.
You guys are firing on all cylinders. Love it. That's awesome, man.
We're getting there. I'm gonna turn my background back on because the junk.
It's all good. You're fine. All right. Is that all you got for Father's Day? You good on Father's Day now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Right. Although I had a great time at Eric's house, I did get breakfast, or did have breakfast. They were making some amazing biscuits, but I had to leave before I got to eat. But I bet they were delicious. And then drove home and spent the day with my kids.
I forgot. So awesome. I almost made my dad cry for Father's Day.
Oh, yes.
But it was like the day after, because like he didn't get the card till late. But I went to Aldi and they had Aldi's been killing it with these like awesome cards for like the holidays. And they had a VHS tape looking card.
Okay.
So it was like the white box with like the multicolored strips on the side, like remember that VHS?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That you could like record stuff on. So I was like, and it had like, like something like special memories on it or whatever, and had like a little saying in it. And I wrote my dad like a handwritten note inside. And he called me up when he got it in the mail, and we were FaceTiming. And so like he was reading it and you could see like he was trying to hold back. Like you can see, I'm like, all right, I did my job.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that was the only other thing I wanted to share was I found this really cool. Cause he has tons of VHS tapes at his house from like the Columbia House collection stuff from back in the day.
Yeah.
And so it was like the perfect card. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, like if I don't buy this, like I'm going to kick myself because like this is it's so perfect. Good. Yeah.
Good work, man. Good work.
Yeah. So that was good.
All in all, a great Father's Day for both of us, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It was low key, but it was good.
It's kind of rare. I really hate to say it, but a good Father's Day is more rare than I'd like it to be.
Well, hopefully they continue to staying good. Like that's the key. Like keep that ball rolling in the right direction.
You know what I told everybody on the Facebook page too, that think about what happened on Father's Day and what you enjoyed and what you wished would happen. Write that down, put it in your calendar app, and 2 weeks before Father's Day next year, have that thing come up and just give it to your family.
Yep.
Say, here, this is a good Father's Day. You can do all of these things and I will be happy,
well, that's
because
what we
you
talked
won't
about.
Remember next year.
Right. And that's what you talked about on the previous episode right before Father's Day. So that works.
I don't remember what I say, obviously.
You're okay. Yeah. you were talking about that, like the fact
that I did it.
That you had done it. Yeah. So definitely.
I remember.
Yeah. It's all good. So then, after Father's Day and all that, then I had the Ohio Craft Whiskey Festival, and I was pretty geared up for it. Honestly, I was going to be podcasting all day from like noon to 7 with like an hour-long break in between where they were like resetting. But we even interviewed people during that time. But it was so interesting. I had never experienced something quite like that before. So there were like 20 distilleries from all over the state that came in. The OHLQ, which is like the Ohio liquor industry, where like they set all the laws and stuff. They apparently came up with this great idea to do like a pop-up liquor store at these kind of events because state law prohibits like distilleries from selling their stuff individually at like their booths. You have to actually sell them through a state agency. So they had this thing set up and it was well orchestrated and it was amazingly organized. And it was so cool to like meet all these different distillers who most of them were parents. So it was really funny to like get them to come over to the microphone and give us like parenting advice or just talk to us about their distilleries and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And then on top of that, like with the distilleries, like we would be like, hey, why don't you bring a bottle of whatever you got over there and we'll do a little sampling and talk about it. So we were trying stuff.
Oh,
we were drinking
wow.
stuff the whole time. It was awesome. Drank a lot of water. Luckily they set the water. They set the water cooler like right behind us because we were going through it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And so we talked to like all these people. We talked to like 25 different people in 6 hours of podcasting. So it was about 4 people an hour. And it was
that's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. And it was really fun just hearing different people like say what they had, like either adulting or parenting. And we'd have like, sometimes we would get like parents and their kids, like adult kids that were there. So that was really cool. Like we had 2 guys, it was father son that came up and were talking to us. And it was really neat to like hear him like talk about what he's teaching his son, and then like what his son is looking forward to teaching because he was just getting ready to become a dad and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So just fun things like that. I mean, we ran the gamut on different people. We met a guy who, this was pretty wild. He didn't want to be a dad. And then in 2015, he became a foster dad. And since 2015, he has fostered 20 kids, adopted 3, and they just had their first biological. So
awesome.
He was really fun to talk to.
Yeah.
But just, all that. And then I got to, meet some people that I've talked to online for a very long time that have been a part of the bourbon world, especially bourbon TikTok, for instance. So like a bourbon dad, for instance, we get to talk to him, and it was really cool getting to speak with him. And we had a fun conversation with him and got to enjoy some drinks with him. And Wes was a blast. Like that's his real first name is Wes. And actually he's coming back down. He's got a bottle for me because he was going to give it to me there and then didn't work out. So he's coming down. We're going to do lunch, and he's got a bottle of their Bottled in Bond that they just put out. So I'm super pumped about it because they were sampling it and it was delicious. It was so good.
Now bottling, is that the bonded?
Yeah, that's the
so it's
4 years.
Proof,
yeah, 4 years exactly. Has to be within 100 proof. Yeah. So they got that. And then what was really wild was so if you've watched any of the MLB highlights, do you remember seeing the guy did you hear about the guy in Cincinnati that caught the ball while holding his kid? Do you hear about that? Yes. Yeah. While he was feeding them. So his name is Jacob Kingsley, and I can say his full name because it's been on media. So Jacob Kingsley, he lives here in town, and we connected through the Cincinnati Dads group and some stuff. He actually, it was really funny. The Dad Ass podcast was running a giveaway for this bottle of whiskey, and he ended up winning it. Oh, wow. And so that was pretty cool. And then he had to come to Carrican to pick it up because Matt Lofi, one of the co-hosts, was like, hey, I'm going to be in Cincinnati. Why don't you just come over and pick it up? So then I got to meet him because I hadn't met him in person. So he shows up, met him, and I'm like, dude, can you just hop on the microphone? Like, let's talk to you about this situation. So we got to interview him about what took place during that whole thing, which was really cool. And just talk to him about fatherhood in general, which was awesome. Matt's got a lot of editing to do. And then, so we got to speak to him and everything. So that was really cool. And then there is a lady who works for one of the big rock radio stations in town here, WEBN, which is the sponsor for the Labor Day fireworks, the WEBN fireworks on the river. And I walked up to her because I had seen her walking around, and I was just like, I know you. Are you in radio? And she was like, yeah, I work for WEBN. And I was like, yeah, that's it. I was like, but it seems like there's somewhere else that we know each other. And she goes, yeah, Brock, like we know each other. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, and come to find out she had worked for WCPO with Cincy Lifestyle, which is the show that I was on Thursday with, talking about Father's Eve. And so she was like, oh yeah, she's like, I worked for, them. And I was kind of your contact in between. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It had been a couple of years.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So,
but
it's okay.
But her and I started talking about the fact that I was like, I would love to get on the radio and talk fatherhood if it was at all possible, because there's another radio station here in town who has a mom who's very popular on TikTok. And I'm not going to say her name just because I want to get a spot on the other show. But anyway, and they have that person on Mondays talking. And I'm like, dude, like, let's get a dad on. Like, let's do a little combativeness or whatever with it. So we'll see how that all works out. But she was like, yeah, this is the part where I knew I was in the good. She goes, yeah, send me a DM so that on Instagram, so that you're at the top of my my list. And I was like, heck yeah.
Nice.
I knew I had done good at that point.
Nice. Congratulations then.
Thank you. Yeah. So it was a busy day, but it had many good attributes to it.
Yeah. And you said they were they were casting all day. Now, was that recorded, or did they stream it, or they going to put out episodes? Or
we talked about streaming it, and I think it was just a lot to handle. So it's all been recorded, and it'll all get put out in probably some mini episodes and things. Matt and Sean have a lot of work ahead of them to get everything edited and put out.
I'm sure.
So it might take some time, but he's gonna, I think, clip like all of the parenting advice like into one little thing. So it'll just be like multiple people coming on. And then for like the bigger conversations with, like, you know, Jacob Kingsley, Bourbon Dad, and like the different distilleries that we hunt on, he might like clump those up in a different way where it's like all the distilleries in one, and then maybe like Jacob and a Bourbon Dad and like another one type of deal. So but yeah, they'll be coming out. So when those do, I'll make sure that people know about them, so they'll get shared out for sure. So, and then the other big news that happened, I know this really doesn't pertain to you because you're not a cyclist, but the National At-Home Dad Network did something amazing. And Matt Strain and Jonathan Heisey Grove worked with a company called Verge Sports to put together a cycling kit. So you got jerseys and bibs that you can buy that have the National At-Home Dad Network logo on them and the Dads Don't Babysit logo slapped all over them, and they are freaking awesome.
I will say, like you said, I'm not a cyclist, and when they were coming up with this, and I'm like, I mean, I'm for it, I guess. Cool. I'm not, you guys want another shirt? You want another shirt? And of course, Matt and Jonathan too were just like, no, this is a biking shirt. This is a whatever shirt. I'm like, oh, cool. But when we saw the first image of it, I went, now you look like a superhero. I mean, that looks like the kind of, thing that a man with a cape should be wearing. That was well done. So yeah, I like it a lot, and I'm really glad they have it, even though it, I probably will never own one. But it's very nice looking.
They are BA for sure. And the price on them is great. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. I mean, I've seen kits, just the bibs alone. So basically the high end on a jersey is like 85, and the high end on 75. It's a high end is 75 on a jersey, and the bibs are like 85. And then they've got a couple other brackets in there as well for some things. But honestly, so top end, you're paying like $160 for a jersey and bibs. You would pay 2 to 3 times that amount, depending on where you looked for other things. So it's actually a bargain deal for what it is. And the organization's not getting any profit out of it. It's straight just to get the word out there and get people out on the road and out on the trails with our name. So I'm super pumped about it. And I've shared it to so many guys that I know that ride, and they're all like, oh my gosh, like that's freaking awesome. So hopefully it's selling really well. Not anything that I can track because it's outside of my hands, but yeah, it was just a super cool thing. Like, it was so funny too, because Matt and Jonathan were like little schoolgirls when they like brought it to me, and they were just like, here, look what we got. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm
pretty sure there was some sort of contest to see who gets to bring it right to you. And I think there was some kind of, I want to do it. Well, I want to do it. So yeah, it was a little back and forth, I think. They're beautiful. I mean, shouldn't even say beautiful. They're really good looking.
Oh, they're
just a very, very well done.
It's really well done. Yeah. Like, I mean, I love the fact that you got Dads Don't Babysit on the backside of the bib. It actually on the sleeve cuffs, are the colors of the organization, which that's another
Mhm.
part that made it look really like, I think they have on the sleeve cuffs and on the leg cuffs. So you got this
Yeah.
really awesome like color along with the black and then the white front and everything. So I will, if for anybody who's listening to this, like just go to Instagram and you can just see the post that was put in that has the designs of all of them, because they're well done. And the funny part is that like Jonathan just gave those images to Verge, and then like they put it together, and man, they did an excellent job with like making it work out. So yeah,
they have a really good artist. And I mean, Jonathan's great himself. His graphics abilities are amazing, but yeah, Verge is definitely looking to get as much work as they can, because they're doing stellar stuff to impress people.
Definitely. So yeah, so that was the other exciting thing that took place last week that I was really pumped about. To share. I will say
a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, I will say along with that, there have already been 2, and by the time this airs, there will be 3 speaker announcements.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say the other one because it's going to come out afterwards, so I'm not worried about it. So you had Father's Day was the Dad Ass podcast. So you've got Matt Lofi, Sean Diddy from Columbus, Ohio are coming. They are freaking hilarious. Like their podcast is so much fun. It's parenthood and cocktails, but they're just going to be coming and talking about, I believe it has to do with like just how to be a good dad, but there's something more to it. I can't remember what it was. I don't have it in my thing. Hold on here a second. We're going to do some more editing. Where did you go?
I thought it was something about your identity as a dad.
Like, yes. Come up here.
I'll let you look it up.
Oh, come on. I hate it when I can't find this stuff the way I want to. I threw it in my trash can and now I can't find it on my computer. This is not cool. Oh gosh. There we go. Wow, why couldn't I find that before? Oh, come on. You're not going to let me pull it up, aren't you? This thing seemed to be a pain in the butt. It's being dumb. Come on, open. I have it. It's just like being stupid right now.
You want to pause?
No, I'll edit it here in a second. Here we go. Okay. So on Father's Day, we announced that Matt Lofi and Sean Diddy from the Dad Ass podcast are going to be presenting on overcoming parenting and parenting challenges. Sean is a counselor. He is not a dad, but he's got some amazing insight into just speaking to kids and especially to parents. And Matt is a dad of 1. And he's just learned a lot and is learning a lot as he goes, but he just wanted to come and share. And he's got some, fun. They have funny things to talk about, just all the different things that are going on. So they're going to actually close the conference. So that'll be really awesome to have them. Catherine Perlman will also be presenting. That was the huge announcement. She is coming back after being gone for a couple of years. She actually contacted us and wanted to come back. She was amazing in Orlando.
Yes.
And so to have
her
back,
highlight. I guarantee she was the highlight, other than the baby shark dance. But other than that, she was the highlight of that convention, hands down. I mean, her presentation was great, and her book is really good, which is called Ignore It.
Her first book, Ignore It. She's got a second book coming out talking about first phones, and that's what she's going to be presenting on is First Phones, A Child's Guide to Digital Responsibility, Safety, and Etiquette. And I think we all can probably learn a little bit from that, even just, from what we do ourselves as adults. So she's coming back, and we are super pumped to have her. And so that was the other big announcement. And then the announcement that came out, we'll just say this on Friday, which is July 1st, is that we have a new speaker also who's coming. And this speaker actually was really interesting because he was found through a virtual conference that Matt Strain had attended, had listened to this guy talk. His name is Tim Wright. And Tim, he's a pastor actually out there in the Phoenix area, I believe. And he's going to be talking about forging, forging the spirit of our sons and daughters through a rites of passage. So he's going to be just talking about rites of passage with our kids, which I think honestly, like, there are things that we have just kind of laid off to the side of what would be like, just even like, I would consider to be like just a good rites of passage for our kids, like, or we just don't know what to do in this situation. And so he's going to come and give us some insight into that. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to say about that. The reason that Matt went with him was because he does not dive too deep into the theological side of things. He keeps it very above board, and just talks about like how to connect with your kids, and how to like walk them through certain rites of passages in life. And so I think for anybody who maybe was like, oh, he's a pastor, like, kind of deal, like, I don't think you have anything to worry about. He seems to be very, very inclusive to talking to everybody. And that's why we chose him to be one of the speakers this year. Yep.
Yeah. And he definitely seems, like you said, to be more going to stick to the focus of parenting and raising your kids.
Yeah.
Which, that was something that I think a lot of people worried about, wait, this is what you do. Normally you're doing this. You can do that here, which is understandable, but yeah, the presentations that I've seen on video of his you wouldn't know. I mean, you could maybe guess, but simply because he's just got that presence and that love to him.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that one.
Definitely. So those are the three that are out so far. There will be more coming. I've put Jonathan Heisegrove on it. JHG has been creating some graphics. I believe he's got like 3 or 4 for me already. So I'll get those posted out here soon. But we are about 13 weeks out from the convention. So it's exciting. I know it's crazy, like 13 weeks, which is wild. So
and the summer's going to go fast. It is.
No kidding.
It already has. I mean, look, June's done. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, wait, is it June yet? Oh no, June is over, sir. Oh man.
Yeah. We're within 90 days already. So, which is,
are we? Nice.
I mean, we would be. It's July, August, September. So yeah, like,
all right,
we're definitely there. So that's pretty wild, but yeah, hopefully people are able to get inexpensive plane tickets. I know that's been a hard thing to do. But definitely if you're thinking about coming, at least get your hotel reservation in, because that doesn't cost you anything to do.
Yeah. And that's going fast.
And that's going fast. So definitely want to do that as soon as possible. But that's all I got for tonight, man.
Yeah. That's enough, man. That's enough. That's a bunch of stuff.
It's been a good show. It's been good to connect back with you. And hopefully I won't miss out on any more nights for a while, so that you and I can talk. But
same.
I do have some people that are knocking on our door to be interviewed. So I need to get that all nailed down too, because I'd love to get a few different guys on. One guy who just recently wrote a children's book is getting ready to publish it. Him and his son wrote it, actually. So I'm waiting for it to come in, and we'll see where it goes. But I would love to get him on the show. So we'll see how that plays out. But until then, we'll talk to you all next week. And thanks for listening to us.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.